We'll continue our look at ballot issues today and talk about minimum wage next on your Labor Minute. Hello, I'm Mark Harrison. With legislation for federal minimum wage languishing in Congress, 4 states are taking matters into their own hands by putting the question before voters this November. Arizona, Colorado, and Maine are all asking voters to consider the phasing in of a statewide $12 an hour minimum wage by 2020. And in Washington state, where the minimum wage already stands at $9.47, voters are being asked to consider a $13.50 minimum wage that would also be phased in by 2020. A 5th state, South Dakota, where a minimum wage of $8.50 was passed in 2014, is now asking voters to consider overturning that law and to also consider language about a minimum wage for workers under the age of 18. According to Gerald Waltman, a political scientist at Baylor University, the minimum wage almost always passes when it gets on the ballot. Most Americans have a fundamental sense of fairness, that if you work, you should make enough of a wage to live on. He went on to say that this is something Democrats and Republicans seem to agree on. In fact, most of the groups usually opposed to any form of minimum wage, like the restaurant associations and the small business groups, are being fairly quiet on the subject this time around, with some groups indicating they think measures should be applied on a local rather than on a state basis. I'm Mark Harrison with your Labor Minute.